That's right. I have a rule. I got it. I have a rule.
Tell me
the
about
rule. I think we need that music on the front to go at the back end too.
it. You got it. That's an easy new rule to work
It's
on.
an easy rule. We had to take a break due to holidays and sickness and life, but we're back at season 4 to 5.
Oh, I think it might be more than that. It might be a season 6.
Maybe it's season 6.
I'll check.
5 was short.
Yeah.
And also, hi Andrew.
Hello, Brandon.
And I'm really glad we're here because there was a thing I've been wanting to talk about for 2 weeks.
All right, tell me about it.
And we've been sort of going around it. I did in November, I picked up a mascot gig, a costume character gig, and it was great. It went great. It was great. And afterwards, they put me up in a hotel. Felt very fancy.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah. So that's always real good.
Yeah.
And afterwards, I did a good job, and they were very happy. And they were like, "Hey, this is the first day. I nailed it. Good. Oh, great job, Brandon. Good job. You want to come out with us?" You know what I said?
What did you say?
I said no.
Really?
Yeah, I said no. And I would like to give everyone permission, every single person who's watching this from here to eternity, to say, you don't have to go to the cast party, to the after party, to the post-show party, unless you are contractually obligated. You don't have to go. There's a part of your brain that goes, well, there's going to be opportunities there. And I'm not going to lie to you. There might be. There could be an opportunity there. But I'm going to be honest, 9 times out of 10, there's not. There's not. And you're like, but I can network. You could. But you have to ask yourself, are these people you want to network with in any long-term way that they don't already have your phone number if you're already in this show?
Yeah. And it's it is a balance, and there's also because it goes back to the sort of taking care of yourself aspect of it, which artists are not great at, and a lot of it I think has to do with that pressure of like, okay, always be on, always be networking and that kind of thing. And so not that is a bad thing, but you can definitely burn out and and overdo it. So
I'm going to say that always being on and always networking is not your job sometimes. Sometimes you have to ask yourself, because I think that if I would have went out between shows, I did a whole nother show I had to do the next day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if I went out, even if let's say I had 2 beers and that was it. And I was out for the rest of the night. I'm exhausted the next day. I can do that. I go, you guys have a great time. You don't have to. I'm not saying being rude. I'm not saying to be rude in any way, shape, or form. I'm not saying that you go, I'm better than this. I'm not saying that if they beg you, don't say no. But most of the time, if someone asks you to like a cast party or an after party, and you go, yeah, I'm a little tired. I really thank you guys. You guys are really great. And then you don't go, you're fine. You're here for your craft and for your work and for your paycheck. Like, it's okay to not make friends with everybody at the fucking venue.
Yeah, and again, not that there's anything wrong with making friends with everybody, but it's but you've done your work, you did a great job, and they notice that. And and because the other side of it is that they see what a great job you've done, and like depending on the kind of person you are, they might not like you at a party. That's another way to look at it.
You have to ask yourself is, would you rather be a no hang or a bad hang?
Yeah.
And if you're like, people don't really notice, like if you're not there, if you do the gig and you're not there, every once in a while you should show face. That's me being honest. You should show face. You shouldn't always be the guy who never goes. That's for clarity's sake. But I think that you can be the guy who sometimes goes, and I'm going to argue that the guy who sometimes goes is doing better than the guy who always goes.
Well, and in your case, you had something that you wanted to be arrested for,
Yeah.
And I think, that's a totally legitimate, reason, and that every artist would understand, for not coming to parties. So, if somebody's pressuring you into coming to a party that knows you have a gig, and then maybe they don't understand the the craft, that you have.
Yeah, well, you have to try to realize, at least with yourself, that this for them might be like, it's not a perfect way to think of it, but the pretend like you've been there kind of thing.
Mhm.
That's the thing we've talked about a ton of times. But I think one of the things you got to remember for yourself is like, yeah, for them, this is like a big thing that doesn't happen all the time. But for you, if you're doing this as much as we're doing it, this is what I do. This is every
Mhm.
week. This is what I go do. And like, can I enjoy myself afterwards? Sometimes, yes. But if I do it every time, it gets exhausting. And it's so, at least for me, I cannot speak for you. It's so tempting to go, I should really take every opportunity to
Mhm.
try to
It is.
network
Yeah.
and meet people and shake hands. And like, you just never know. But like, it's okay to play the lottery sometimes. But if you're playing the lottery every day, it's going to make you go broke. Anybody who's playing, it's buy a scratch off here and there. I'm not saying don't buy a scratch off, but like, if the only reason you're going out with a group of people is that you want to uh shake hands and smile and do the shtick, you know what I mean? If the only reason you're doing that, and you're doing that every time you're performing, like, you're just you're going through your own, you're going through your own supply, you know what I mean? And like, you don't have to hang out with people. You really don't. No one. Do good work, do good work, be polite, and then go live your life. You know what I mean? Get away from these people a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
Give yourself a little bit of respect that you have a mystique.
Yeah. And I think, I think what you just brought up is kind of a good point because, in some cases, some people might actually want to hang out, and just kind of chill out. So, it doesn't have to be just a networking thing either. It could be, just, relaxing and having fun. But if it's like, if that's not what you need to relax at that moment, that's okay too.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, I think that, there's always balance. And I've gotten a lot better, I think, really I would say over the past year. Um, so it's been a very short period of time, but I've definitely gotten a lot better at just being able to hang out and just have fun and just have casual conversations that are not necessarily work related and that kind of thing. And and frankly, it's been really nice, and it's improved that has improved my mental health just as much as being able to have time on my own, as well. And because there's a certain social aspect that I think can be very healthy.
Hmm.
That I've always considered myself an introvert and preferred to be either
Hmm.
by myself or with a small group of people. And since I've become much more comfortable in kind of larger groups, then there's actually like a positive aspect to that a positive aspect to the mental health that has
Hmm.
been for me, and I'm not necessarily has to be for everybody, but I've definitely seen it reflected. And it's not, I don't think it's just the fact that I'm being social. It's also me um having a different mindset
Hmm.
than I did when I was younger, I think as well.
I think that's a really good point. I think we can also add to the list of sometimes you don't have to go to the party afterwards, is sometimes you don't need something before it to have a party with
There you
your,
go. Okay.
like, there's the other side of that, which I totally agree with. Like, you don't always need to do the cast party. You can call people. It's lovely to have people, even I don't want to say they don't work in the same industry as you, because I think that closes it out a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, they can be in the same industry as you, but like, they can have different goals than you.
Yeah.
They can
Sorry,
have
can I press pause? Oh shit.
positive.
Never mind. Okay.
Oh, we good?
But yeah, it's fine.
I'm positive.
Sorry.
Wow, what a great conversation we had while
That's
while
right.
it was so intense. But I think like you can go out to the movies and
Oh yeah.
do a nice
Yeah, social
dinner.
doesn't have to be a party. It
Yeah,
doesn't have
well, but
doesn't have to be a rager. Doesn't have to be a
even if it
rager.
is, or even if it is a rager, I'll give you a
Yeah.
rager. But you can have a rager that's just a rager for rager's sake. You don't have
Yeah,
to do a rager where you bring your gosh darn business cards every time.
that's true.
You can have them in your wallet. Keep your business cards in your wallet.
Mhm.
That's not what I'm saying, is you don't always have to hand out your business card at every meeting. And I think, and you shouldn't always be around people where your job is to go like, it's so good to see you. You got like like, what gigs are you working on? You got any like gigs you can toss my way? It's so nice to also, you should also have people in, or like, what are you working on? That's interesting. Yeah, well, this is what I'm working on. It's also nice to have people where you can go, hey, TV is fun to watch sometimes, and it's good to
Yeah.
have those people in your life. And I'm not saying those people can't be art people as well, but I think you need to notch out time where you're talking about other stuff. We
Mhm.
are often talking about what it means for burnout culture and what it means in, you know, how to work around it and how to deal with it and all that other stuff. And
Yeah.
one of the big things that is community, but one of the little notches of community is it's not always a community where you're working all the time.
Yeah.
And you can enjoy working with people, but you should have people that you can just hang out with as well. And I think that is important. So you don't always have to go
Yeah.
party after the thing. You don't always need a thing to party is a nice little rule to try to set up with.
Yeah. And I think that that's kind of what I was talking about is,
Mhm.
me, because so much of my life, um, before was based around work, and
Mhm.
it's, I mean, honestly, it's still 95% of it still is,
Mhm.
but it's really nice to have some friends that are not associated with work at
Mhm.
all. And just to be able to have those alternative conversations, and find out, what other people outside of the arts are doing, and it's just really nice.
Yeah, and
Um,
what other
yeah,
people outside of your field are doing
yeah,
too.
yeah,
So like it's nice to it's good to have people, and this can be on a micro or a macro scale. Now there are big important things in the world, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't be aware of the big important things. It's certainly not what it's. But some of the stuff that you think is big and important, the second you step out of your little bubble of people,
mhm,
it's not big and important actually. Super
yeah.
not. Like
It
people
exactly. Yeah,
don't know what the hell that thing is. And like there have been times, and I'll leave names out, where it can feel like things in your life can be all consuming.
yeah,
And like it's always in the news and this and that. You're
yeah.
like, oh geez. And then you step out of it for like a second and you go, oh, no one cares
No one
about
cares.
me.
Yeah, and honestly, that used to really bother me, and like, not bother me in the sense of like, but bother me in the sense of like, whoa, how did that happen? And but honestly, I kind of like that feeling now. I like the feeling of like realizing that, whatever I'm super concerned about, it doesn't matter to anybody else. I
Yeah.
really like that feeling when it kind of washes over me.
Yeah, it's a real it's good. It can be a real humbler,
Yeah,
especially like if there's something, and I'm not talking about big world events. I'm talking about something specifically in like your art field, because I've
yeah,
had stuff in like my art field where it's just and then you realize like actually like that thing you were super worried about, you're like it was in the news and everything, and you're like yeah, I mean it was in the news,
yeah,
but they gave it like it's like 7 words. You know what I mean?
right.
Like yeah, your biggest thing in your group can
Yeah,
sometimes be someone else's, huh? Yeah, I'm gonna grab
right.
a drink of coffee while this is on. Yeah, no, oh, that's interesting that still happened. The biggest
Yeah,
thing in your
exactly.
group, the thing that is you're like, this is always forever. Everyone has an opinion on it. Very much can be someone else's like, oh, oh, I heard about that. I
Yeah,
think that can be then like
yeah.
that is good to have those people having,
It
and then
it's a good reality check. Yeah.
it's also your job, and it's a hard part of your
Mm.
job. Don't if people go, oh yeah, that's happening, unless it's a real big world thing and legitimately a world thing,
Yeah.
which is different. It's your job not to drag those poor people into your mud. Your responsibility if someone
Yeah.
goes, huh, is that happening? And it's not, there are big world things. We understand big. I know I keep
Mm.
saying that, but we
Yeah.
are living in big world things. But like if it's not that, if it's some stupid
Yeah.
art thing, if it's some mascot did this, you're like, oh, don't
Yeah.
drag those
Yeah.
wonderful people into the mud with
Because yeah,
you.
because that's when you become not fun at a party.
Yeah,
So
that's a
that's
fast way. Well, actually, when you think about that, and I'm not saying don't talk about your interests.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying don't tell people interesting things about what you're interested in. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying specifically is when you have someone who is that, oh, this is just my little world
Mhm.
moment. Do not don't drag those people into the mud.
Yeah.
Don't do it. those people are good people in your life.
They don't deserve it. They don't deserve it.
They don't deserve to be dragged into your mud. They got their own mud over here that you probably deal with all the time. Probably it's sports mud. A lot of times it's sports mud. And it's their mud. And whenever you remember that annoy, you're like, oh, they're always dragging me into their sports mud. And sometimes they're not. They're just showing you their interests. So you got to know.
You got to find the balance. You got to find the balance of all it.
Find that balance. It's good. We took a little bit of time off and we came back with, you don't have to go to the thing. You don't have to go to the party after the thing.
Came back with enthusiasm. Yeah.
You don't have to. Yeah, maybe the third one is like you can take a break. It's okay.
Right.
Take a break sometimes, even if it's by accident. You got sick and about, and then
exactly
there. But yeah, and like don't you drag.
Don't dare. Don't you dare.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Keep saying it. Keep saying it. Keep saying it.
Yep. Don't.
There you go. There you go. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Peace.
Peace.